These things don't work. And I speak authoritatively as the first daughter of a pastor. And I have taken this up with my father on so many occasions. He called me rebellious child and all of that. At some point, because I got into studying law, and he then came and said, oh, Luke said in the Bible that too much learning has made you go mad. And I take it with I take it as credit, because you don't do these things that do not work and you continue with it. It makes no sense, absolute no sense. Today, my father, he says, oh, it's because of, he attributes it to I've studied too much law, so I know too much about all those things, so I don't believe in. I said, I believe in God, but these things people are doing is wrong. Stop taking tithe from people. I stopped paying tithe when I was from 18. I hadn't had any contact with anybody telling me not to pay tithe. But those things don't work.
When you stop paying tithe, what did your mother say?
So one thing I have been privileged to have growing up is a mother who is very supportive. Like she, my mom is not, I've never seen that, my mom has never been the type to say, oh, when are you getting married? Or when are you doing this? She doesn't give timelines for anything. She just feels you have a working brain, use it.
Use it.
And if you get into a marriage and it doesn't work, come out. She's not, and somehow my mom is not even, she doesn't even have a higher education.
How about your dad?
My dad has. So these things don't work. And from one level to another, the most embarrassing and annoying thing anybody did to me was to say that I had a spiritual husband. I literally.
When was
I don't know
this?
So that was after I even got married. It was an embarrassment. It was like, that was disrepute, like taking me to disrepute. That was very embarrassing, because how dare you? And when I was 15, because of my father's ineptitude, his wrong choices, his lack of business.
You are calling out your daddy.
No, but really, that's what it is. So I was a school dropout. I dropped out from secondary school. There was no money. We were homeless because of his wrong financial decisions. Rather than
what financial decision did he take?
You know how he didn't even have a bank account. He was always having cash. So he was stashing cash all over the place. He didn't have any need to want to deposit money or buy land. People were coming to give him land documents, house documents, people who wanted to jackpot those days, for just anything, for them to be able to, he would not take those things, he would leave it. So there are lots of missed opportunities. There were lots of monies. There were, how you go into my dad's briefcase, you see stashes of money. And rats had beaten, I don't know how cockroaches or rats has gone to eat. So that's how, that was how much not prudent he was.
Where is your dad now?
He's alive, he's well and fine,
Wow.
He's well and fine, but those decisions made everybody drop out of school. There was nothing. And he had made my mom stop working. He had made my mom close down her restaurant and food business and all of that. And some of these things were from prophets, prophecies. Don't do this. Don't take the land documents. Their spiritual attachment to it and this and that. And I saw how these prophecies ruined a life. I saw the effect of all those indiscipline and not being prudent. I saw the effect of it and how it made me go out of school and not be able to pay tuition and all of that. And I made a decision as a teenager that I was going to have an education, and the education wasn't about the qualification, but to be able to use my mind in a very productive way. And I didn't study law for I studied law for the education. I've studied law for the enlightenment. I studied law for myself. So I will be able to speak up for myself, know what I need to do, know what the laws are, know how to go around things. That was why I did. So as a teenager, I needed to get to school, but I didn't have money. I started doing all sorts of menial jobs. I sold oranges. I did like I really sold, stuff to go to school. Tell me why a silly prophet will bring me out in front of the church and ask me to go and get married. That somebody wants to marry me. So I should get married and the person will take care of me and I'll have children and all of this and that.
Wow.
So the prophet brought me out as a teenager that there was somebody that wanted to marry me, that I should get married. And my father was there. And you know how you look at your father and you look at the prophet and you're like, what's going on here? Why should I get married? I need to go to school. I need to have an education. There might not be money for that, but this is not what I need. You know how you're arguing with a prophet in the church, in the congregation, and you're a teenager. So I was rebellious and I insisted. And they said, oh, if you don't marry the person, you're going to have a sickness. There's something that was going to come out from your body. You're going to have a long-term sickness, whether it was HIV or whatever it was. And I dared them and walked out on all of them. So I guess there was an arrangement with somebody to get married to me at that time, probably because I was a teenager and the guy was maybe in his 20s, he was around 27, 28. And the man died after 2 years.
Hey.
So this was me going to my father. Yes, because I will have to call you out. I went back to my father and I told him, you see the man you and your prophets said I should go marry, because whether you wanted to run away from responsibility, I did not ask you to. The man is now died. And if I had listened to my father, I'd have been married at maybe 17 to the man. I would have had a child.
Widow by 19.
Yes, I would have been a widow at 19. So I would have had a child, probably, because those type of men, they will just knock you sharp. So you just be getting pregnant because they don't want you to, like, maybe so because you were in your prime. So I would have had a child and I would have been pregnant and I would have been a widow at 19. So what my father then told me was, oh, I think it's God that made you to be stubborn.
Imagine, my darling sister, I want to applaud you. People are going to shut you down. Maybe I'm the one that even emboldened you, because you hear me say our parents are our biggest problem.
I'm telling you.
You people have heard me preach this before. One of the biggest problems in the Bible is honor your father and your mother. That thing, because it's like when you carry a crucifix and show a vampire. You will be afraid to call truth to power. I say this all the time. I am where my father did not have any bad, he did not do anything bad to me. Now me not hear word from day one. Nothing that they follow me talk. From when I was 19, 20, now I don't tell them for I say me I be 80, say God no exist. When I don't carry anything like God come meet me, I don't want hear. And from when I small, now I don't warn them they come. I did everything I wanted, and I say this all the time. If my father were poorer or richer, I might not have had that luxury. One of the greatest gifts I had was my father was not because if you're a billionaire, your children, you will force them. And if they don't listen, you will all you need to do is only you go the ride bus up and now your younger brother go they drive brand new Range Rover. Before you know it, you will bend. So my father did not have that money to bend me. So I took my own decisions. And I thank God my mom is Oyinbo. So my mom supported my decisions. Oyinbo people, they'll not be like Naija. If I change out for my mom, like my mom will be beg me, say, you know, say, I only you be my son. Oh, yeah, okay, what is it that you want? Let's work with what you want. My mother will not allow me to do something stupid. But once that thing I'm saying, I'm convinced and it's making sense, my mom will support me to the best of my ability. My mother support me. My mother is a professor of law. She was not a professor then, but she was a law lecturer. Today, my mother is a provost of a vice chancellor of a whole university. If I were to list my mother's academic achievements, full stop, 2 no fi carry am. My mother would not write 1 or 2 abbreviations. If she were to tell you what she has achieved academically, the awards my mother has received in Paris, in Oxford, in Cambridge, they are uncountable. Yet I told my mother that I wanted to go and sing. Mama still count her small money she get that time, give me. So yeah, go and sing. Because she didn't look and say, what is this boy going to do with his life? So we need to start understanding that you disrespect a father you cannot call out.
Absolutely.
You are disrespecting them because you are not telling them the truth. Many of you are products of either religious foolishness, career foolishness, life decision foolishness because of the kind of parents you had. This is the first lady, and to be honest, a lot of you people are going to bash you. I celebrate you today for I do it. If I had listened to my parents from when I was small, I would either have been miserable now, or maybe I forgot even why. Not luckily for me, because they don't say my head they hot. I know well. I know well. So they didn't want my problem. Because only me go begin problem now, the whole house go begin born. So they go just leave me, say, make it just the good. They used to not believe I was wasted, I was useless, nothing will come out of me. So they left me to go and fail. Not my mom, but my dad and his family, basically. So, and to me, it was the best blessing. They know they ask me, where are you going? Because they don't expect us, and they go, a police go arrest me. You understand? So they just left me. Now, me, I can't know, say, if police arrest me, I go enter problem. My father will say, you see, he don't know what they do it in life. So I now had to navigate the waters of life very cautiously because I knew that ain't nobody gonna come for me.
Absolutely. No savior.
So it is good you are saying this. Some people's lives were ruined by these same parents that are giving you advice today. That's my anger. How many of your parents have sat you down to say, I'm sorry, I messed up. Forgive me. I thought I knew. Instead, after they've plundered their own lives, they are now coming into your own life now and then you do it like this. I declare them. I told you immediately. If my mother, as much as I lost her, one day my mother called me and said, why don't you start buying new property? I said, you, how many property have you bought? We looked at ourselves, we kept quiet, we changed the topic. It's not quarrel. Do you understand? It's not quarrel. We have to understand one thing. It is not just your parents fumbling. Everybody fumbles. But those same fumblers are now chief advisor, special advisors. And nobody has the mind, because culture and religion have told you that you must honor your parents.
So when my father pulls the children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and your mother, which is the first commandment with promise. And I tell him, Father, and the same Bible, the next verse says, and you fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. Yeah? So you're provoking me to wrath, and you're saying I don't understand. That it's a symbiotic relationship.
So here's one thing I'm taking out of this. I'm happy I brought you to this life to say it doesn't mean you dislike your parents. It just means that now when your father was advising you to marry that man, he put a God stamp on it. God said.
Absolutely.
The danger is not the advice. The danger is the God. I don't know if I'm making sense to you. The real danger is the God stamp. God said. That thing is dangerous. And many people don't understand the inherent danger inside this thing. God said you should do this. God said you should do this. And Nigerians begin to be afraid. The Bible is a very dangerous book.
Absolutely.
Ephesians chapter 6 verse 5 said, slaves, obey your earthly masters. That verse was used in America to justify slavery for 400 years. The Bible said it, do not rebel. Not in one place, in like 5 different places in the book of Peter, in Titus, in many places. The Bible can be used as a very dangerous manipulative tool. And if you do not understand it, your parents will, and they sit down, let me tell you something. From when I was young, now I dey tell people will be my parents' age, they not get sense. Somebody told me that they were reading the Tower of Babel. They built a tower, and when God saw that it was getting onto heaven, he said, Burj Khalifa is 1,700 feet. You can go to Dubai today and go to the topmost floor, and you not enter heaven. Do you know the technology they used to build Burj Khalifa? Mount Everest is 27,000 feet. People, they go the top, and from there, they know they go heaven. Then you want to tell me that primitive people who could not build toilets and were easing themselves inside the bush can build a tower from the ground, and the tower go enter heaven, and una believe them? They will now say, my elders and teachers then now said, are you telling me the Bible is not possible? I said, this is not even God. It was not God that built the tower. Let's say God built the tower now. We can understand that. These are the people where one go be like God. So that means if I begin to build tower today, you get where I go reach for, I go begin see God. No, Mumu, they worry you now. And they will quote a book. And I say this all the time. I'm a Bible scholar. The Bible is not proof. It's the claim. The Bible claims. The Bible is not the proof. The Bible claims that Noah built an ark, and all the animals in the world, he carried them 2 by 2. Meanwhile, there is no kangaroo in that region. There's no kangaroo, there's no platypus, there's no wombat. All those Australian animals, we live only in Australia because the whole world had not gotten to Australia. Nobody knew there was Australia. This one just one corner. They evolved. If you see Australian platypus looks like a duck and a beaver, and then they lay egg. Animal where they lay egg. Mammal like cat where they lay egg. You don't hear them before? In Australia. So when me and they tackle them, say, at best, this Noah's flood was a regional flood. Maybe cover that whole region. You cannot tell me cover the whole world. Wow. So, okay, how were the kangaroos saved? How did the kangaroo? Okay, the kangaroo swam. If they could swim from Australia to Mount Ararat or wherever it is that the Noah's Ark was, they might as well swam the flood. And the Bible says all the animals perished except the ones that were Noah's Ark. Okay, so kangaroo not follow them perish. So you ask yourself these questions and you begin to wonder, okay, did Noah take 2 mosquitoes into the ark? How come mosquito no perish? Cockroach in call. He carried 2 cockroaches. Nice. But you see, at the end of the day, what am I trying to say is I don't disbelieve the Bible. I understand the use the Bible is intended for. It is not a book of facts. It is a book of stories and allegories to teach messages that have moral and spiritual undertones. God forbid you go and use it as a book of history. My sister, what do you have to say? And my brother here is also waiting. So
okay, so that's basically it, because when it's not like I'm not calling out my father, but I call out
my
what you
sister,
do that
call
makes
out your father that made you almost marry at 15 and ruin your life. Call him out. Nothing will do you. Your father should apologize to you for this.
No, but
if your father sees this video, he should apologize to you for this.
I have told he knows, he knows, and he did. No, it's now spiraled downward to a lot of things. Yeah, as a pastor, he got married. No, he didn't even marry. He left so these same prophecies and all that, because my mom kind of would always back me up and say, use your brain and sort your life out. They called my mom a witch. The prophets and all that called her a witch, and what he then went in with my mom's best friend, and my mom's best friend is my father's mommy Gio. My father is the daddy Gio, and so
and you don't want to call out this your father,
and I pulled my mom.
Not well.
And I pulled my mom. I was like, I need to get an education. I need to get a life. We just left him to do whatever he was doing. And today he is not even capable of coming to say he wants to reap, because maybe you will sow first before you reap.
You have to take care of your father. Listen, you have to take care of your father. It is your obligation to make sure he is okay. You must feed him. If his roof is leaking, you must fix the roof. If he is broke, you must send him sustenance money. You know what I mean by sustenance money? Food, medication in old age, rent if he doesn't have his own home. You must as a child. It is a must. Whether he sowed in you or did not. But you must also speak truth to power so that he may learn and others may learn. That is not everything. Your parent, do you know how I talk to my children? What do you think? What do you want? Can this help you? I'm suggesting that this might not work, but I don't know how you see it. Because in this life, you don't want to be held accountable for ruining somebody else's destiny.
Daddy Freeze, how is it my obligation?
Out of love, because I'm a Christian teacher. And if your father is too old to work, he must still eat.
But he's taking care of his woman. So how is he doing that?
Is he okay? Does he still have money?
I don't know. But he's with his mommy Gio, so they are running the church together. So they should be making some money.
Tithe and offering, they'll be okay.
So
as long as there's tithe and offering for them to eat, they'll be all right. They'll be fine. May they live long.
They like.
That's it. That's it. If he cannot eat and he calls you and says, I need money for medicine, I need money for rent. You don't want your father to be on the road. I need money for rent. I need money for what is it called? I believe it is your obligation to help unless you don't have yourself. Now, in many instances, sometimes parents are not responsible for their children for one reason or the other. Like sometimes when you have let me give you my example, for instance. When my ex and I divorced, she took the children and ran away abroad. I don't know where the children are till today. I know the firstborn is going to be 23 and the younger one is going to be 20. But I don't know where they are. I don't know. They have no contact with them. So while they were with me, I tried my best to raise them as my power reached. I sent them to the schools I cannot afford to send my children to now. were the schools I sent them to, at least until they left my house. Abby, tomorrow they too will wake up and say, I did not take care of them. Now, your mama not agree, make I take care of you. No, be say I don't want to take care of you. And at a point in time, I didn't have, which was also your mother's fault because she spoiled my name everywhere. So because I know these children too wake up one day and say, and I pray to God that I don't need anything from you. It's a prayer. I pray that I don't need anything from any child, not even the ones I'm raising here. I pray to God to give me a smart brain. I pray to God to make me enterprising. And I also work with my brain and my hands to be able to put myself on a path that I want to be. I don't believe children will take care of me. I pray they come and visit me and take me to watch movie in old age. I pray they take me to go and buy ice cream, but that they will be sending me feeding money. I pray that that never happens. I pray that I'm able to sustain myself one way or the other. As the world evolves, we will continue to evolve. Because I want to talk about the grievances many children have. This mosquito big, I think it's a fly.
But that is freeze. Your case is different, though. Your case is actually different.
I know. Anyway, let Mr. Dele talk.
All right, Daddy Freeze, I most sincerely appreciate the fact that I'm coming to your live the second time. The first time I came, it was about wristwatch. My wife, my wife finally saw the video last night, and she was quite cool on me. I thought I was in trouble when she was frying meat this afternoon. She said, "Dele, you were on Daddy Freeze live." I said, "Well, Dele." But of course, she was very cool on me. Of course, it's another topic today, talking about Nigerian church. Of course, we thank God for this purging that is coming at this time. All my thing about church, sincerely speaking, one of most of those things that we're taught is not to question God's anointed. But of course, this is not condemning. We are not condemning them. We are only coming out to call whatever we are seeing that is not right. We are only coming out to call it out the way it is. Believe God will be pleased with us because it is not in view to destroy them. It is just this cannot continue. If we are serving one God, and the standard of God will not be different in different regions, we believe Nigerian church should not be an exemption. I've been following this particular prophet that you have on the topic today from the days of can I pro, and different things that I have seen about him. The Bible says those that are led by the Spirit of God are the sons of God. There is something, I believe it's called discernment. There is a way you can look at somebody saying something and you feel like, oh, this person is lying. There's a particular pastor that even when my wife and myself, when we are looking at the clips of this pastor, some of these Nigerian pastors, they like to talk story. My wife will just say, babe, what are you thinking? I said, my spirit does not align with that story.